Hi everyone, welcome to this video. In this series of video, we started working on Lab 04 Implement Virtual Networking, and this is for the Azure 104 Microsoft Azure Administrator labs, and they're available on the GitHub, and I'll give you the link. Since each individual task under this overall lab is pretty big, I've been creating individual videos for each task. So in the first video, we created and configured a virtual network. Second video, we deployed two Windows virtual machines. In the third video, we configured a private static IP address, and we also assigned public IP addresses to the virtual machines. Then we configured a network security group and associated these VMs to the security group to allow RDP connection to those virtual machines by opening up 3389. And in this video, I'm going to cover this task, which is configure Azure DNS for internal name resolution. So let's go to task 5. Okay, so before I do anything, what I want to do, I want to show you that if I go to this virtual machine, which is VM0, this is where I'm going to assign the DNS zone and name resolution right now. So if I do a DNS lookup on this particular IP 52.250.192.123, which is the IP of this machine, it says there is nothing configured, you cannot find it. Okay, and we are gonna use contoso.org as the domain name, so you don't have to use the IP addresses, you can use a real domain name to resolve to that server. So if I do something like this, DNS lookup, then the name of the VM is E10404 VM0 contoso.org. It also says nothing. And what about if I do the one? This is the machine where I am. It says nothing. So right now nothing is configured. So there is no DNS configured for this machine at all. You gotta use the IP address. So the goal of this lab is to create and configure the DNS zone. So with this background, let's start the lab. So in this, go to Azure portal and search for Private DNS, and this one we are working on internal name resolution, not the external. Okay, so remember that. So we're going to search for the Private DNS zone. So let's go to our Azure environment, that's over here, and I'm going to search for Private DNS zones, and this has come up. So I'm just created on, and there is no private DNS zone configured at this time for my Azure subscription. So we're going to create one, and we're going to assign some resource group, and name would be contoso.org. So let's do add, and resource group is which one? 10404RG1. So 10404RG1, that's the resource group, and the instance name would be name is this contoso.org. Sorry, copy. Name is contoso.org. Okay, since this is internal, really you can use any name you like, google.com, microsoft.com, whatever name you like. You probably, Microsoft is going to allow to use it because it is just internal to you. That name does not have any meaning to the external DNS, but use something that makes sense to you. All right. So once that's done, all you need to do is review and create. It's running validation has passed. So we're going to create this domain, which is a private DNS zone that we have created. And again, you can look at the deployment window. The deployment is in progress. And if you go back to the lab, it says this should take about 2 minutes to generate this private DNS zone. Once this zone is created, we can go to the resource and open up that contoso.org DNS private zone played. So let's see. So it's still, the deployment is in progress. So I'm going to give it 1 more minute, and then we'll come back. Let me pause the video for that time. Okay, the deployment is now done, and you see from the notification bar it says deployment succeeded, and over here it's also saying the same thing. So I can just click on go to the resource to go to that blade of that particular private DNS zone for contoso.org. Okay, it says the private DNS zone. Look over here. So let's go back to the lab and see. So we are in that blade on contoso.org private DNS blade. In the settings section, click virtual network links. So let's go to virtual network links under settings, virtual network links. If I click on that one, I have nothing configured. Okay, so we need to add the virtual network link with the following setting. Okay, link name, we're going to create link 1. So let's create a new link. Link name is this, and virtual network is the network that we have been using for our work, and so that is this one, AZ104.04 VNet1, which is under this resource group. And what we need to do, auto registration, we need to enable that one. So enable the auto registration. This one they haven't said anything. I know the resource ID for virtual network, so I'm not doing anything with that one. And hit OK, and it says it should create about 1 minute to do this. So let's see how long it takes. It's creating the virtual network link, and once the link is created, since we are auto enabling discovery, it will pick up anything that is attached to that virtual network, and we should be able to resolve as long as we are internal and we are not going over the public DNS to get to those machines. So we'll see what I mean by that. So now this is now attached and this is enabled. On the contoso.org private DNS zone, click the overview. So here let's click on the overview. Verify the DNS records for AZ, VM0 and VM1 appear in the list of records as auto registered. So here I should see that, but I'm not seeing anything. Give me okay, right here. Okay, so in the overview tag, now we just refresh, just a minute to show up. So it looks like it has entered a type A entry to our private DNS, one for the VM0 and one for the VM1. It has assigned TTL and a value IP address, auto registered. Yes, so this is true, so that's good. So we have verified that. Again, you need to wait for a minute, and that's what happened to us. It just took a little bit of time. Now switch the remote desktop session of VM0 and right click start button and open the PowerShell window. So it's asking us to go to the VM0. So VM0, let's see, VM0 is this. I don't know if I already have open session. I probably don't, so I'll just what I'll do, I'll go here and create a session to go to VM0. So student and our most secure password, let's get that one. What is our password? Here, password, let's get that, and connect to this machine. Once I'm here, let's go to the PowerShell window and open up the PowerShell, go back to our lab. In the PowerShell window, we're going to run this DNS Lookup for the VM1. So from VM0, we're going to try to run DNS Lookup for VM1 and look at that. So it's now resolving. So if you look for this one, it's saying that this is the name and this is the address. Verify the IP in the command includes the private IP address of AZ104.04 VM1. So in this, so we can do actually the same thing. If I already have a session in the other lab, I thought I had, but maybe I don't. So this is the end of this lab really, where we have configured. So now another thing you can really do, you can copy this one as well, okay, and then paste it over here. It's not allowing me to paste, so let's see one more time. Yeah, it did. So you might be able to ping, but a lot of time the ping is actually disabled, so that is not a good validation. But in this lab, what we have done, we have completed the steps in this task 5. We have configured the DNS private DNS zone for internal name resolution. We created a private DNS zone, and we assigned a contoso.org for the private DNS. Once that's done, we have added our virtual network to this private DNS zone, and we have enabled the auto register option, and that automatically registered 2 of the virtual machines, and each of them would show up as az104.04 vm0.contoso.org and other one vm1.contoso.org. And internally, as long as we are in the private network, we can resolve to both of these VMs. So that's the end of the video. In the next video, we're going to configure Azure DNS for external name resolution, and I'm going to see you in that one. So good luck. If you like the video, please give me a like and subscribe and share the video with everyone. Good luck with the exam. Thank you very much. Sorry about the noise at the end.